Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 11 of our F1 2003 career mode. Yes, we return this weekend here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a few days ago from Silverstone, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. It's safe to say this World Championship keeps ramping up, keeps getting more exciting, and we've got the final race before the summer break this weekend, and it is still all to play for. 3 points in it between myself and Michael Schumacher. David Coulthard just 24 points off the top of the World Championship as well. We are definitely in for a three-way fight right towards the end of the year. Alonso still ahead of Raikkonen, Jenson Button now ahead of Juan Pablo Montoya after he claimed his second race victory in the last 4 Grand Prix. I've still only had one win this season, but we haven't finished off of the podium since Bahrain all the way back in round 2. Consistency is really paying dividends for us at the moment. Michael Schumacher had his worst finish of the year with 3rd place last weekend at Silverstone, but to be honest, he was quite lucky to finish there. McLaren double stopping their drivers, could not make the one-stop work, ultimately cost them a lot during last weekend's race as well. But yeah, the Hungaroring though, we've claimed I think 2 pole positions here before, so hopefully we can make it a 3rd this weekend. Get yourself subscribed if you're new. We're trying to hit 140,000 subs before F1 25 comes out. Also, if you want to help support us just a little bit more, click the join button down below for just £1 a month. It massively helps us out. You get early access to all the videos and a couple of extra perks. But yeah, without further ado then, let's return here to the Hungaroring. Well, I'm hoping, unlike the last few Grand Prix, this circuit should be a really good one for Ferrari. Yes, we lack straight line speed, as is evidently proven on the run-in towards Turn 1, but I think this car has still probably got the most efficient aerodynamic package in the sport right now, so hopefully that is going to carry us around this lap time. You can see how much Coulthard pulls away in a straight line, but as long as we start right towards the front of the order, we are going to be able to manage that as well. Oh no, I forgot to change the gearbox. That's not ideal. No idea which gear we've lost then. Oh, it's 4th gear again, just like we lost at the end of last Grand Prix. Real good job though that's happened in qualifying, because of course it means I can change it ready for the race. So no matter where we qualify then, we're going to have to take a new gearbox ready for the Grand Prix. So we will not be starting from P1 here, but throwing the car through the exit of the middle sector. So far though, the lap actually coming together pretty nicely, despite that missing gear. 4th isn't too important through most of the corners around here, and actually allows you a little bit of extra engine braking there. Struggling a bit to get the car kicked in through the 3rd last corner of the lap, but as we make our way through, pole back in 2001 for McLaren, but our one and only pole last year as well for Ferrari. We've already claimed a few poles this season. Are we going to get another one on the board? Yes, we are. Well, there we go then. P1 by half a second here at the Hungaroring. I knew the car was going to be good around this circuit, and at least we've proven that on Saturday afternoon. Raikkonen will line up, though, effectively from pole position, with Jenson Button in P2 there. Schumacher down in 6th place, so we're going to still be alongside our teammate ready for the start. It's not often you put 9/10 on Michael Schumacher, but I'm not going to complain about it. Let's get that gearbox swapped out and we'll head into the race.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula 1 World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Oh, I'm an idiot, man. I forgot to change the gearbox, and as soon as you click to load into a Grand Prix, there's no way we can do it. Oh, dearie me, this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. I don't believe there's a way we can do it in the game setup either. So we're just going to have to try and suffer through this Grand Prix, probably with a missing gear throughout the most part of it. I guess, on the other hand, we've got pole position, but this was a really, really stupid blunder by myself. And, you know, that could be World Championship defining come the end of the season as well. But let's do this thing then. 35 laps here from the Hungaroring. We need to try and hold on to P1 at turn 1. 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go then. One of my better starts inside this game. But look at Button. Oh, a little bit of contact as he tried to make it 3 wide there, down towards someone. Immediately the straight line speed of some of those other cars playing into their hand, as we will lose 1, 2, and 3 there as Alonso will try and come through down the inside as well at turn 1. Can we return the favour on the Spaniard in towards turn 2? Yes, we can. Gotta get the elbows out early here. I cannot afford to get stuck. Oh, behind some of these other guys, there was a bit of a wobble out through turn 3. Had to keep the foot in, though. Because, again, we do not want to be vulnerable there as struggling immediately. It's always the Renault that seems to kick up the most turbulent air on this game. I've got no idea what it is, but I noticed it at Silverstone last weekend as well. But, yeah, with that old gearbox, though. Yeah, with those gearbox problems, this is going to be a long old afternoon of just trying to kind of limit the wear, limit the damage. But the thing I'm really scared about, that gearbox could fail today, based on how much wear goes through it each and every weekend, and the fact that, you know, this is a circuit where you really do cycle up and down through those gears a lot. We could be in real trouble. Anyway, let's just see if we can get a run on Button through the final couple of corners. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything unless we get a monstrous run out of the final turn against him. You can just see the different ideologies of the setups on both cars right now. Raikkonen will lead at the end of the first lap, but not actually losing anything to JB on the run back in towards turn 1. So maybe he's carrying his issues from last weekend. We'll try and dive it up the inside. Button will spot it and immediately switch me back. There we go. It's taken 2 laps into the Grand Prix before we've lost our first gear of the afternoon. It's either first, second, 6th or 7th. Yep, there you go. It's second. A huge moment through the penultimate corner. That's not going to do us any favours, but still, you know, we proved yesterday we have got a lot of pace in the car despite all this. See if we can get a run on Button once again back in towards turn 1. It's Raikkonen already just pulling away just a little bit early here. Looks like Button that time around has got a bit more straight line speed. He'll show the door for us. But again, we'll just keep it calm and composed. I know we've spoke about it many times before, but luckily with these V10s, first gear is quite long, but kind of 2nd through 4th is actually pretty short on these old cars, just the way the teams used to prefer to set them up. So as long as we don't go below 3rd gear, we should be fine. We shouldn't need to go below 3rd gear. First gear, you can do about 70 as well. There we go. Seconds immediately come back. I'm not going to complain about that then. Normally it's a good kind of 3-4 laps before you get the gear back in, but the team there making quick progress to try and get the gear back in the car. Yeah, Raikkonen again, another new fastest lap. We're just watching him pull away slightly as we're stuck behind JB. Again, a look to the inside. Again, far too aggressive there. We'll try and slow it down. See if we can throw him off. But Button just keeps spotting it and just doing the same thing over and over. Fuel management as well is going to be another tricky one today. If we're running rich revs, we burn through a lot extra. If we leave it in standard mode, actually are not too bad. As that time round, I mean, we were down the inside of Button again, wheel to wheel with him into the first corner, and I think he was expecting me to overrun through the apex, but we got it stopped there beautifully that time round. Navigating JB, and now we can chase down Kimi for the lead. There we go, Raikkonen new fastest lap, and we will immediately go quicker there, despite having to overtake on that last run. So we've definitely got the pace still to compete. Like I said, it's just a question of what gear we're going to lose throughout this race. But I guess the good thing for us is that both of my championship rivals, terrible qualifying for Schumacher and Coulthard. So even if we were to finish 2nd here, still we'd take points out of both of them. Well, I've been managing the gearbox wear, then just keeping an eye on it. I believe on this game, if I remember correctly, anything over 75% wear, and then at any moment it can fail. I think looking back, that's what happened to us. If you guys remember the 2001 Singapore Grand Prix, I think that's still the only DNF we've had in this series up to this point, which is pretty good going, actually. But yeah, I think anything over 75%, then it can just RNG just go on you. But yeah, we've rocked back up to the rear of Kimi Räikkönen. Jenson Button, just as we would normally expect from him. Very quick over one lap, very quick in the early laps. And then the pace has fallen apart from the Renault. Doesn't seem to be under much pressure from Fernando Alonso. But certainly, yeah, dropped away from Kimi, and I like a stone. If you had told me back in Baku that could have been Michael Schumacher's last victory of the season, I never would have believed you, because he was absolutely in control that weekend. But since then, Schumacher just seems to have taken a step backwards. Talk of the devil. Michael into the pit lane then for a very, very early pit stop in this race. I want to extend to about the end of lap 15 there as you see Räikkönen struggling to look after those Bridgestone tyres, I believe, on that car. As can we try and capitalise and get a run through one of these corners? Just see there through turn 3, able to keep it completely pinned, but not quite able to do anything against Kimi. That car definitely hasn't got as much downforce as ours. Look at that round the outside through turn 5. Surely not there. Räikkönen going to try and defend the inside line in towards the chicane. Oh, he sends it. Didn't know where he was going to go there, whether he was going to bobble out over the curbing, but a very stout defence by the Flying Finn. Oh, there we go, Räikkönen, okay. Was not expecting to see him into the pit lane so early in this race, but clearly the tyre wear not looking great. Button's in, Alonso's in. Everybody's diving into the pit lane, so maybe our tyre wear a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But I'm not going to complain then, claiming P1. Well, it looks like Räikkönen as well then has been caught out behind Alexander Wurz by the time he makes his way back out into the circuit. So this provides us with a golden opportunity. We've got to try and work a little bit of an undercut here. I remember we had to do this against Williams, I think, a couple of seasons ago, and kind of stole victory from underneath them. Can we do the same today? Is already Räikkönen has lost over a second behind Wurz. This works out fantastically, as whilst he's doing that, we are still setting new PBs through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Already then with a 6-second gap over David Coulthard. Even Juan Pablo Montoya's in front. And a 21.5. That is exactly what we need to be doing. Coulthard's going to peel into the pit lane as well. So I really wonder if the AI are going to be two-stopping this race. But we are going to try and stay out just a couple of laps longer. But Räikkönen already 23 seconds back. He is losing bags of time. He's not going to be any more, though, because they've all dived into the pits. So he's now got a chance to try and kind of re-undercut me. Well, end of lap 15 then. We have just been setting the pace right now, really giving it everything we possibly can to make sure that we are going to safely get the jump on Kimi Räikkönen here. And at the moment, things are looking pretty good. Just really, really surprised that they've all boxed as early as they have. Genuinely wouldn't surprise me if they're all on a two-stop strategy. So not only have we had more pace, but we've also got better tyre wear around this circuit at the moment. And, well, that is just really boding well for us. Obviously, Michelin versus Bridgestone was a big, big cause of controversy time and time again back in the early 2000s. If you're setting up a motorsport series, this is wise words. Never allow more than one tyre manufacturer. Just have one. It eliminates so much of the chaos and confusion there. As I thought that was Räikkönen going by, but it's actually a lapped car. So we'd already put someone a lap down then in this Grand Prix. We should come out ahead of Kimi as well, which I think we will. What is going to be the gap then to Kimi Räikkönen? It's going to be a good 5 seconds or so. 5 seconds the gap to Kimi as we get back out onto the circuit. Whether they've got a pit or not, we are in control right now. Well, Nick Heidfeld then, not too sure if he's got some front wing damage on that car or some other issues, but this is the kind of circuit that really does expose Minardi and their lack of pace in that car right now. He seems to have a full front wing, so yeah, definitely just struggling, but to already be a lap down, well, not even a half distance yet technically. It's going to be a long afternoon for the German. Well, there is still a little bit of movement going on behind. Oh no, Button's gone! Jenson Button's out of the Grand Prix. What on earth's happened to him? Renault, a second race victory of the year last weekend, but this has not been an unfamiliar sight for them either. Plenty of power, but a lot less reliability in those cars. Jenson Button, our first retirement of the afternoon. And yeah, his slim, albeit admittedly very slim, World Championship hopes are definitely over. That is going to promote then David Coulthard up into P4. Fernando Alonso up now into 3rd. And we've got eyes then on Michael Schumacher as well, a little bit further behind. But as the gap now opens up to 10 seconds ahead of Kimi Räikkönen, I really do feel like the only thing that can stop us is going to be that gearbox this weekend, but we haven't lost a gear again in this race, so very, very weird that as the gearbox has become more warm, it's become more reliable again. Make that make sense. Oh no, as soon as I say that, we've got a much worse gearbox problem now in the car. We have got the kind of weird lag that sometimes occurs as well, so now effectively you've got to be downshifting and upshifting way before you think you need to. That is going to cost us a lot of time. Luckily we've probably got about a second in pace near enough over Raikkonen right now, but I might have jinxed myself. There we go, taking less than a lap and it's fixed itself, and in that time we still pulled out 3/10 on Raikkonen. No idea what is going on with the AI today, but yeah, luckily that gearbox issue very short-lived. Well, Ralf Schumacher then, he's been thoroughly outclassed by his teammate, so is his brother so far this weekend. Ralph's caused me a lot of problems though trying to get round him in recent races. Oh, again, the understeer really does catch you by surprise, but another car lapped in this race. How high could we lap up to here? The pace is just so good. Oh, there we go, Raikkonen back in again then for his second pit stop of the day, so it looks like Alonso following him in. So Michelin just cannot get their tyres as far as Bridgestone this weekend. And again, that is going to hamper McLaren's races as we go past Kumasato. Of course, every other car, I'm pretty certain, in this mod is on those Bridgestones. It is only us on Michelin's. Sorry, vice versa even. We're the only team on Bridgestones, not Michelin's, inside this mod. That's going to help Michael Schumacher then temporarily. He's going to be up into P3. Surely that'll become P2 though after Coulthard pits. But Raikkonen is only going to be 5 seconds behind him. There we go, Coulthard into the pit lane as well then. So Ferrari out of nowhere. We're going to be up into a 1-2 situation. Will Schumacher be able to hold on though from Kimi towards the end of the afternoon? I'm not optimistic. But by lap 25 then, we have got a 30-second lead over our teammate Michael Schumacher right now. Despite all the issues this weekend, our race pace has been more dominant than our qualifying pace. Admittedly, that comes with a huge asterisk over it, and I hope that this tyre wear difference isn't going to be a problem in all of the races between now and the end of the season, but it is just another reminder of the political game that used to be played back in Formula 1. You know, these kind of tyre rules did make changes in World Championships. 2003 was notorious for it. Well, Michael Schumacher then, he's about to get caught by Kimi Raikkonen. He's still running about a second a lap slower than Kimi right now. And that gap now down to just 3 seconds here, but I believe for the first time this season, we're going to be lapping up into the points-paying positions in a moment. There is a huge train of cars that is all just line astern. If any of these guys have been able to make the one-stop work, then you're in for a really, really good race out here. I think it was Toyota and Fisichella did that last weekend at Silverstone, where a few teams had to two-stop. Toyota were able to stretch the one-stop, because their car seems to be quite gentle on its tyres at this stage of the season. But making our way around Zob Baumgartner then, looks like Anthony Davidson is hanging on at the front of this little group of cars. No idea who's in 6th place then, as Olivier Panis will also move out the way. Thank you very much, buddy. Some of the lap traffic here is actually being pretty good, dare I say. Come on then, Jarno. That Sauber car, yeah, this is not a circuit that suits their strengths at the moment, as that thing is very, very quick in a straight line, but definitely doesn't have the downforce of a lot of other teams. So, I mean, look at that. He's actually got a run on me back into turn 1, despite the fact he lifted off to let me through. So, yeah, Jarno Trulli, that thing has definitely got some ponies underneath it. Just starting to wonder whether Raikkonen will A, get back to Michael, and even if he can get to him, whether he's actually going to be able to find a way by. Schumacher again might be able to cheese himself a really good result. Last couple of races he probably shouldn't be finishing on the podium, but it looks like he might be able to find himself still in the podium places. Davidson will let us by. Hopefully, that's the last car we've got to lap this afternoon. Well, less than 2 laps to go then, and only really one way to describe this Grand Prix, and that has been total domination here. If you've been watching, though, and you've kind of been thinking, wow, the tyre difference between, the Ferraris and everybody else seems ridiculously unfair, genuinely go back and research the end of the 2003 F1 season, because honestly, this is pretty much exactly what happened. The Michelin teams of Renault, Williams and McLaren looked really, really strong against the Ferraris, and then the FIA changed the rule, and Ferrari suddenly were back on top and completely in control. I mean, it might not have changed the World Championship outcome, but it certainly didn't help Kimi Räikkönen right at the end of that campaign, or Juan Pablo Montoya for that matter as well. So yeah, that genuinely, this is just what used to happen in Formula 1. Rule changes would come in and momentum would swing so wildly from team to team. You know, we haven't had the fastest car over the last couple of weekends, but I knew this weekend, I hoped that we were going to be strong. I really did worry that forgetting to put the new gearbox in might completely dog us of a big result today. Michael Schumacher, though, has got just a lap and a half to go to try and defend from Kimi Räikkönen, but this might be the biggest winning margin we've ever seen inside this series so far from 1998 onwards. I think Monaco last year we won by a similar margin as well, but you bring us back to these high downforce circuits and the Ferrari car absolutely flies along. I never liked the Hungaroring, apart from, well, in this series an F1 Championship edition, and it's just because these cars are so much lighter, so much more fun to kind of chuck around a venue as well. Now, suddenly this circuit makes sense again. These big, heavy, modern Formula 1 cars just are not enjoyable to bring to venues like this. But Schumacher, down towards Turn 1, was probably the last bigger danger zone he was going to have to try and hold off, and I think he's going to, from Kimi Räikkönen now. In towards the final few corners, though, the Hungarian Grand Prix. 45 seconds, despite the gearbox issues. It probably could have been even more had we not been held up early on as well. Dare I say it, we could have been close to lapping the entire field today. That has just been the domination of this Ferrari car. Finally, it is going to be win number 2 of the season as well. At the final corner, we head into the summer break with the perfect result, P1.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Well, there we are then. Pole position, it would have been fastest lap and race victory here. It doesn't get better than that. Domination here at the Hungaroring. Räikkönen on the last lap, though, got the jump on Michael Schumacher, but for the first time this season, we are finally leading the World Championship there. Fernando Alonso in P4 ahead of Coulthard and Montoya. Definitely one of Renault's stronger results this season, but still lacking the out-and-out pace of a lot of other cars there. Alonso should have had a podium, but got a little bit robbed in the end. Davidson, Jarno Trulli, Olivier Panis and Alexander Wurz there will round out your top 10, and I believe it was just GB that failed to see the checkered flag. What does that do to our championship standings? Like I said, we are now on top, 7 points clear of Michael Schumacher, and all the momentum is behind us with just 4 races to go. Kimi Räikkönen gets past Alonso for P4. Coulthard's still not a million miles away, but he'll need a couple of wins to keep himself in the fight there, and Button still ahead of Juan Pablo Montoya. Olivier Panis, best of the rest right now. Constructors-wise, Ferrari 110 ahead of McLaren. Hopefully we're going to be wrapping up that Constructors' Championship in the not-too-distant future. BAR with the big points today, get the jump on Toyota, and are now just 4 points back from Sauber as well. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Belgian Grand Prix.